what a millionaire does during Trump tariffs. So, first of all, let me just say that Trump tariffs probably are still going on by the time that you're watching this. And it will probably continue to go on until 2026. The threat of tariffs is actually a very wise economic and political policy. So it's not new, but what's new is that Trump is using it as sort of like a personal game, which hasn't necessarily been done, in quite some time. But it's not impossible for this to happen. But what I'm doing is that I understand that Trump, Biden, Kamala, doesn't matter. They don't control my income. And so I'm going to give you some tips in this video on how you can use this situation to your advantage so that you can make some money. Understand that I made money regardless of who's in office. Obama, Biden, Trump, doesn't matter. I'm making money. And so then if you can do the same thing, then why not? Now, if you want to be someone who waits on the president to make sure that you're rich, sure, go ahead. Click off this video. This is not for you. But if you actually want to take life into your own hands, then I'm going to help you to do just that. The first thing you got to understand is that one, Trump doesn't control your income. That's one. There are certain things that matter in business. If you are making sales, that's how you make money. And so then as long as you're making sales in your company, then that's actually what's going to make or break your financial freedom. So then just focus on that. Focus on you making sales in your company, in your business. How do you get better at sales? How do you get better at marketing? How do you get better at integrating technology? How do you get better at reaching more people, at closing more people, at improving your product? Making sure that you have the best product for the best price that obviously gets the best results. If you focus on these things, then you're going to make money regardless of what happens in the market. The next thing that you need to understand is that the economy goes through cycles. The economy goes through cycles. So what does that mean? It means that sometimes, regardless of who's in office, the economy is going to be up, and then sometimes the economy is going to be down. And that doesn't necessarily control how much money you're able to make. In a down market, guess what? 2020, when everything went down, guess how many billionaires were created in 2020 alone? In 2020, 400 billionaires were created. 400. That means a new billionaire with a B was created every single day. In 2020, one of the worst market crashes in the last 25 years, right? That happened in 2020. So if during a market crash, a new billionaire can be created every day, what's stopping you from actually making maybe 1 or 2 million? Not billion, but just 1 or 2 millions. It's possible. So then in our Trump tariffs, here's what actually happens, okay? Now that we have the context. First, if Trump puts in tariffs, what you need to decide is what are the tariffs going to be on and how are you going to react? This is all you need to know. So then let's say, for example, Trump might put, and he has, put in tariffs on industrial products or on gas. Okay, can I change my supply to my company to local made products? Can I do that? Can I start looking for suppliers that are locally made that are about the same or even cheaper rather than wait until my supplier is cut off by the tariffs? Can I do that? For example, Apple, before the tariffs, they shipped planes and planes of iPhones to the US so that they could beat the China tariffs. Can you do that? What else can you do? Okay, so if you have more tax cuts coming for your business, can you look at the tax code and say, you know what? If you are going to allow us to use more exemptions over here, but tariffs are going to go on over here, I'm going to use more of this so I can lower my tax bill, even though the cost of my product is going to be higher. So then in the end, I actually still end up with more money in my pocket. Thinking like a millionaire. Let me tell you what I'm doing. One of the things I understand is that if you are a business owner in the US, Trump and most of his policies are actually going to affect you positively. Business owners, they're going to get tax exemptions. They're going to get more tax cuts. They're going to collect less taxes. They're going to have more loopholes in the tax bill that allow you to either avoid or defer taxes for as long as possible. So then if that's what you're focused on, as a business owner, my only goal is to see, okay, this is what's going on with Trump. I'm going to pivot, be on his team, see where he wants a tax code to go, and then just do that. For example, in the tax bill that just passed, I'm a real estate investor. Trump is a real estate investor. Don't you think he would put things in there that are going to benefit us? Yes, and he has. Now, Does that mean the supplies that I use in my real estate company are going to be slightly more expensive? Of course. But my tax savings are going to increase by way more than my products will. So then, I'm actually still making money. Now, even if I didn't, and it was the reverse, as I told you at the beginning of the video, I would find a way to adjust. Looking at all of the policies that are there, you have to find a way to be in the top 10% of your market. That's the bottom line. When the market goes down, regardless of if it's tariffs or if it's the economy or if it's a coronavirus, if the market goes down, the bottom 50% of the market is going to be in trouble. Only the top 50 is going to survive. Only sometimes the top 20. But if you are in the top 20, then you are safe. If you are in the top 10, you are safe. So then you need to make sure that you are always in the top 20 and top 10%. That's what a millionaire does when Trump is doing tariffs. I double down on my company. The next thing, and even this might be the most important part of being involved in Trump tariffs, you need to understand something. Trump doesn't control my income, and he doesn't control how many income streams I can have. So then, for example, let's say tariffs becomes more expensive, so my margins on my business become smaller. No tax savings. Okay, can I start a second income stream in the same business that increases how much money I'm going to make at the end of the year? So I'm in real estate. Can I have a real estate education business? Can I sell magazines? Can I have an email subscription? Can I have a newsletter that I send out? Can I sell merch? All of these things. Can I open up other real estate ventures in other countries? Can I use partners? Can I raise money through private lending? All of these things doesn't have anything to do with tariffs. So then if you're so focused on tariffs that you're getting distracted, I think that might actually do you a disservice, because even though he may affect the economy, he doesn't control your income. And you need to understand that. If one person, regardless of who's in office, can ever control your income, you are in trouble. Which is why children are at the mercy of their parents, because whatever the parents say goes. But you're an adult watching this. As soon as you're out your parents' house, you can do whatever you want, which means that you can have A, B, C, D, E, F, G income streams if you wanted to. You could write a book, you could go on YouTube. All of these are income streams for your business that could make you more money. So then, what you're thinking right now, what does a millionaire do during Trump tariffs? They find a way to pivot, get more creative, build the income streams within their business that already exist, so that they can make more money. Double down on marketing, double down on sales, double down on technology, reduce their costs as much as possible, and stay in the top 10%. That's what makes or break true business owners. If you like this video, I have more content for you, more business content, and I also travel sometimes. So check out this playlist right here. Tell me if you like it, or maybe it's right here. I'll see you over there.